What is going on, guys? Welcome to Greggles TV. In this video, I wanted to go through all of the settings for the dual screen settings for the LG Velvet phone, because most people don't have a dual display phone and it's unique. So why not, show you guys that maybe you're thinking about getting a dual screen phone, to show you some of the settings that this one at least can do, so you can get an idea if it's something you actually want to get to, if it's either this phone or another phone that's dual screen. So let's get to it. So there's a couple of ways you can activate the dual screen. Obviously I already have it turned on, but let's just say I have it turned off. So one way you can do it is you'll have this little white thing over here. It turns gray. You need to tap it to activate it, and I can just press that again to turn it on. Sometimes you'll accidentally move it. You can say up here, or I can move it over there just by clicking and dragging. So just look for that, and again, that's how you turn it on. Another way to turn it on and off is by swiping down, looking at your quick toggles, and you should see one that says dual screen, so you can turn that on and off right there. It's a little bit smoother, to be honest with you. Sometimes I find this button on the right to be a little finicky sometimes. But ultimately, yeah, you can always grab it from the quick toggles. And if you don't see it in your quick toggles, hit this little pen right here, and then you can just find it towards the top here and just press it and hold it and bring it down. So say if this is it, I would just press it, bring it down here, and now it's there. Hit the check box at the top. Now, what about if you want to actually go in and change some of the settings? Again, there's a couple ways you can do it. You could swipe down from the top, go to your quick toggles, find the dual screen button and just press and hold it. It'll actually bring you into the settings that way. Or just swipe down from the top, go into settings by hitting the gear, and then go into display, and then choose dual screen. Now, in dual screen, you have a bunch of settings. We're gonna go through every single one of them. So first of all is cover display. Cover display is this. It's this thing right here. It shows you the time, it shows you notifications, it shows you the weather. Does it show you the weather? No, it doesn't show you the weather, but it shows you information basically on the phone. So you can turn that off if you want, so that it never goes on. It's gonna save some battery life. I'm not sure how much battery life it'll actually save, but it will save some battery life. I'm just gonna keep it on. You can also do a timeout, so it'll time itself out after about 10 seconds, or you can do a daily timeout where it just completely turns off all the time from a certain time. Maybe it's, when you're sleeping, or maybe it's when you're at work or whatever. You can set a time and a schedule for that as well. Just turn that on, set your schedule, and then when you're done, just hit the back button and you'll be good to go. Dual screen tool, you can see move what's showing on the screen to either or swap on both dual screens. So what that means is that, see that little thing there I was talking about, that little white, dot, whatever you want to call it, the little symbol right there. If I turn that off, it completely goes away and I don't see it. So the only way I'd be able to access it is by going right here, going into my quick toggles, and I can go to a dual screen that way. Otherwise, I'd have to always go into settings, display, and then I'd go into dual screen. But I like having that little tool there. I think the dual screen tool is a handy little feature because it allows you to do a bunch of things in there, and I'll go through all those settings as well after this. Use the dual screen. You can turn it on and off right here. You can see, on and off. You can reverse the screen, so turn off dual screen. So what that means is when I reverse this like this, you can see right now it's set to turn off the dual screen. So when I turn it like this, it automatically turns off that dual screen. It's not using battery, it's not doing anything, it's completely turned off. Also within reverse fold, I can go in there and I can just dim it, or I can keep the screen on, and I'll show you what those look like. So if I close it again, it's just gonna dim it. There you go, completely dimmed. Can't really see it, kind of looks off. Well, there you go, it's dimmed. And then you can also just keep it to screen on, so that when I close it, it just stays completely active. I like to keep it so it turns it off, just so I don't have any accidental touches or anything like that. Brightness, this will just adjust the brightness of the display. It's set to 53%. And it's also set to be the same as my main display. So whenever I change the brightness for my main display, it'll also change it for this one. Just to show you real quick, you can see it changes as I change it. So kind of cool right there. Next we have keep the same as main to screen. That's what I have that turned on. So since I do have that turned on, as you see, it automatically changes as I change it on my main display. I like that feature because I don't want to have one display, you know, lower or higher than the other. I want them both to be the same. Wide view, these are the only apps that allow for wide view. And that means is that Chrome, Gmail, Google app, Maps, Photos, YouTube, and YouTube Music, when I put those in wide view, and I'll show you that after all this, because it's based off that little quick toggle on the right hand side, that little tool. It makes them the full display. So for instance, if I was looking at YouTube, I can turn this like this, and it would have YouTube on this side and make it just one big display. And again, I will show you that in a little bit. Wallpaper, if I want to change the wallpaper, I can come in here and change the wallpaper for both my displays. App drawer icon, so I turn that on, you can see it adds a icon to bring up my app drawer, but I could just swipe up and do the same thing. I like the swipe up feature better. Multi-app shortcut, I just did a dedicated video about this, but this is a really cool feature. And what this does, it allows you to have two apps open at the same exact time. So first of all, I'll show you how to add one or delete one real quick. If you want to add or delete one, if you're going to delete, just hit this little trash barrel, click on the one you want to delete, hit delete at the bottom, and you're done. If you want to add one, just hit the plus at the top. Choose two apps once this loads up. So maybe I want one to be Best Buy and I want the other one, my music app. Once I'm done, just hit the back button. It automatically adds it to one of my screens on here. I'm just going to push it over here. And now, I'll just show you real quick. If I press it, it's going to open up both of these apps at once. Best Buy on this side, my music app on the other side. And again, I have a couple of these set up. Pretty cool stuff. If I want my security apps, maybe I want my Blink camera and my Wise cameras, I just press that. It opens up both apps at the same time. Very, very cool stuff. This is one of my favorite features, probably my favorite feature of these dual screen phones, is to link two apps up and have them both open at the same time. I think it's really, really cool stuff. And you have a lot of control over it as well in terms of which ones you want to create that with. And when you do create it, just to show you, you can swap them. I didn't show you that. When you add the two apps up here, you can swap them as well to make sure maybe you wanted, you know, this one and this one. If I want to switch those so that, you know, this one opens here and that one's there, or vice versa. Another cool one is My Pick app. What that means is that when I click on that, I'll show you real quick. What that means is when I say I have the dual screen turned off, whenever I activate it, it's automatically going to open an app. So right now I have it set to Amazon, so I'll show you real quick. Hit the home button here. I'm going to turn off my dual screen. When I turn it back on, Amazon will automatically open. I think that's pretty cool too. It's a productivity thing. Maybe you want your calculator open. Maybe you want your Notes app to open. It just depends. And that's anytime you turn on and off your dual screen. Whatever app you choose will open right then and there. But to be honest with you, for me in my life, I don't really need it. I just did that for, you know, just to show you guys. So I'm going to set this back to no app, because you don't have to have any app. You don't have, you know, have any specific app open. I'll change this to none. That's what it was set to by default. And that's pretty much the settings right for that stuff. So now let me show you the quick tool. So when I press the quick tool, which is now over here, let me move it over here. And I'm going to press it. There's a bunch of stuff on here. So I can turn off the screen. I'll turn off that screen. I can put the main screen to sleep. If I do that, you'll see it says put main screen to sleep. The brightness of the main screen may have been adjusted to save battery when using dual screen only. Swipe to end. So there you go. It's pretty much off. And say I wanted to go into my gaming app, I'll press that and blah, 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 play some games. When I want this to come back on, just swipe up and it comes back on. I can't think of a reason why you'd want the main display off. Maybe you can. I can show the dual screen on the main, so that's going to push that whatever was on this screen over to the main screen. I can also swap screens. You see right there. So that's pretty, you know, noticeable. Like say I'm going to open up, I'll just open up two apps real quick here. I'll open up I'll just open up these two apps again real quick. If I want to quickly switch these apps, I can just by doing swap screens. So very, very easy to do that. Next, let me show you wide view. Now with wide view, just to let you know, you have to have a compatible app, one from that list that I showed you, opened on the main display. So let's open up the Google app. I have the Google app open right now. And if I wanted to activate wide view, tap the white button over here. Once I have that, tap wide view. So what you're gonna see is it's gonna span that one app across both screens. Now it looks a little ridiculous. It looks better, I feel like, when you hold it this way. It feels like it works. It looks better, but that's the way it would work. And you can do it, like I said, from a bunch of those listed apps. So it can come definitely in handy. Obviously, if you're holding it like that, that might be maybe a little bit better. But let's check out a video real quick, because YouTube also works with it. So I have my video playing right now. I'm gonna press that button over here on the side. I'm gonna choose wide view, and you can see it automatically starts showing the video. Make it bigger like that. Gives you the whole view. I'll make it as large as it can go. And it looks a little awkward, obviously, because you have this big cutout for where the two screens connect. But I mean, again, it could be interesting. I think with websites and things like that, I think that's its strong suit. And it's mostly within just Google apps, but it is kind of an interesting use case. There's a lot of functional use for this stuff. Setting it up to watch videos when you're in bed late at night, or just, you know, showing something off. It's really easy to do that. You know, you have a built-in stand right here by setting the phone, you know, as almost a tent. So there's a lot of cool use cases that you can do. You can actually, if you had kids, you could have one kid on here doing, you know, one game, and then another kid on the other side doing another game, or watching a video, and this person's doing social media. There's some cool stuff. This is literally one phone, but you can have multiple people using the same phone, because both of them can be moved at the same exact time. So very, very cool stuff. I love the future of foldable phones and dual screen phones. It's a really, really cool feature. What do you guys think? Let me know what you guys think about all this stuff in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys down the road. Peace.